The Los Angeles Rams suffered quite some loss against the Cardinals, and it looks like one of those losses will haunt the team for the coming months. Apparently, Cooper Kupp had to leave the game in the fourth quarter when the player got injured, and reports suggest that he avoided an even worse case by doing so. In this video, let's see how long Kupp will be out. Let's begin. First up, here's what happened. Cooper Kupp is undeniably the most important player the Rams have in the offense, and without him, it might get difficult for the team. No wonder everyone was so worried watching him leave the game in between with an injured leg. And honestly, we doubt that there's anything worse than that. This is because the team has been having a hard time since they won Super Bowl 56. Everyone was hoping to see the player return and play the rest of the game alongside his team. However, his injury didn't allow him to do so. This meant that the Rams now don't have their top wide receiver and number one quarterback to play in such an important matchup. Apparently, backup QB John Wolford found the footballer alongside the left sidelines, but when he attempted to make a shot, his ankle rolled and Kupp lost his balance. If you look at the clip, he fell and grabbed his leg immediately. This was enough of a reason to believe that something went really wrong. Next up, let's see how long the player will stay out. Reports have suggested that the player sustained a bad injury and might stay out for several weeks. The team itself hasn't confirmed any of this news, but there's a 99% chance that this might be true. Later, ESPN's Adam Schefter also reported and said that Kupp would now be on the injured reserve for at least 4 games. The number of games he misses can be more than that, but the team is hoping to have him back as early as possible. In his tweet, Schefter also confirmed that Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp will have to undergo ankle surgery, and that head coach Sean McVay has confirmed that the team will put him on IR for the time being. Some other reports have also come out, and according to them, Kupp somehow managed to avoid an even worse injury that would have kept him out of the game for a much longer time. Jordan Rodriguez, the co-host of the 11 Personnel Pod, said in a tweet that several sources have said that the player's initial testing shows how he avoided a worst-case scenario. She also mentioned that it's important to remember that for now, he still needs to go through a lot more tests so that the doctors can get a clearer picture. In reply to Rodriguez's tweet, NFL.com's Ian Rappaport said that more tests are definitely coming, but for now it looks like even though Kupp will miss some games, the situation isn't catastrophic. Following up, Adam Schefter confirmed otherwise. While other sources are saying that it could have been worse, Schefter is saying otherwise. He stated that even though the player avoided a worse injury, it's still pretty bad. In his tweet, the ESPN reporter confirmed that the 29-year-old suffered a high ankle sprain while playing against the Cardinals. He also stated that a source aware of the prognosis stated that the injury doesn't sound good. Just a few weeks back, Mac Jones, the Patriots quarterback, was also sent to the hospital because of a similar injury, and he's missing 4 to 6 weeks because of it. Apart from Adam, the head coach Sean McVay also announced that the player will undergo surgery on the injured ankle and will be resting for a few weeks. He also stated that Kupp would have a tightrope surgery, but even after that, he didn't announce that the player was out of the season. So yes, he'll probably return after 4 weeks. At least we can hope so. Up next, let's see when exactly Kupp will return. According to the New York Post, the player will probably miss more than a month this season. For now, it's hard to say whether it'll take him 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or even more than that to fully recover and return to play. But fans are hoping for his fast recovery, and so is his team, because honestly the Rams aren't in a position to play without their wide receiver for so long. Also, if we look at it, the 3-6 Rams situation seems to have put the player on the ice for the rest of the season. The problem is that a tightrope surgery is done to stabilize the ankle, and even in normal conditions, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for a full recovery. And in Kupp's condition, we should expect that much time. Now with Kupp out, we believe that he won't be playing against the Saints, Seahawks, Raiders, and Chiefs in the coming games. By the time he returns, the Super Bowl player's season will already be kaput. Not just that, Kupp himself also tweeted addressing the situation. Kupp took over his Twitter and addressed the situation. In his tweet, he thanked everyone who reached out to him and was worried about his injury. Not just that, he also stated that getting injured is, in fact, just a part of the game he plays. Kupp also said thanks to the medical staff that helped him with the issue, and that he'll definitely get it fixed so that he can get back to work as soon as possible. The player's fans were happy to hear from him, and many sent prayers his way. We also hope he has a quick recovery, and we get to see him play the way he always does. Now let's have a look at Sean McVay, who feels very responsible for the team's struggle. Honestly speaking, the Rams building is proof that there's a lot to blame. The team stands at 3-6 right now and has already lost 3 consecutive games, which ultimately forces them to sit at the very end of the list. And who's the one to blame for it? Maybe the coach? After all, it's happening in Sean McVay's era, so yes, he must feel like he's being blamed. We really can't blame the injuries on him because that's the offensive line's fault. But apart from that, Sean does actually deserve deserve a big portion of this criticism. After the 27-17 loss in the last game against the Cardinals, the coach said that he feels very responsible for the Rams' struggles, and we agree with him because he should. While talking about it, he stated that they just have to have a better product. Not just that, they should also see some improvement, but the most challenging part of it is that there haven't been any examples of something like that happening. Apart from that, he also said that he and the team need to look at some things that they might be doing wrong, and that he should be able to look at himself in the mirror and figure out what these things are because he feels responsible for being in this position. The head coach showed pure professionalism when he said he would never run away from the responsibilities he shares with his team, players, or other coaches. Not to mention, we saw this feeling of responsibility during the games. What we love about Sean is that while he knows that it was somewhat his fault because of this, the team is standing in a situation like this. But at the same time, we also see him make visible efforts to get the team out of this plateau. Let's take an example of the Rams against Arizona when Stafford wasn't available to play. During the game, McVay had to get creative with the offensive line and had to rearrange the whole game. But then again, he made a mistake and ended up relying way too much on the passing attack instead of leaning on the ground type of game. Not just that, but during the game, the head coach's third down calls were also pretty questionable. The critics say that there was a 3rd and 13 screen to Kupp, which ultimately put them in a situation where there was no chance. Lastly, does he deserve all the blame? It's true that the head coach definitely has some blame on his head, but we can't say that he can be blamed for everything. He isn't the one responsible for any injuries, because how's he even supposed to prevent them? Not just that, he wasn't the one who failed to get Von Miller to be back either, but he has in fact failed the team as he wasn't able to adapt as a play caller this season. After a long time, they were getting their hopes high because the Rams were making some progress. Many even thought that they might be able to turn the season over and make their way out, but then this disaster happened. Kupp got injured, and he's out now. Let's see how it goes for them in the future. Fans and the team are hoping for Kupp to return soon so they can finish the season reasonably at least. And with this, it's time for us to wrap it up, fam. What are your thoughts about this video? Do let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos soon. See you at the next one.